What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Christten, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show. All right, Grace Girls, welcome back to another episode of the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Christten. Welcome back, guys. So happy to have you. This is episode 7. I tell you, girl, I am rocking and rolling and I'm loving it. Honey, I am doing the thing. So I'm excited for me because I set a goal and I am making it happen. So let's get into the episode. Today's episode is about trust in friendships. Why can't people seem to trust their friends? There's a group of people out here who have the same friends that they've had for years. You know, your friends haven't really changed. You kind of have the same friends you grew up with, right? Those are your core ride or die friends. And then you have another group of people who, like, they're always posting on social media every other week saying, you know, they're deleting people, they're cutting people off, and, this person has done this to them, and, they're no longer friends with this person, and somebody that they thought was their friend has stabbed them in the back, and so on and so forth. And you're just like, man, this person really struggles with keeping friends. Like, why is that? Why is that? Why do people struggle with this? Being a friend is not only being there through the good times, is being there through the bad times. Checking on your friends every now and then saying, hey, man, you okay? Hey, girl, you good? Like, just making sure, being intentional about checking on people. I'm bad at this. And my sister and I kind of had this discussion over the Christmas holiday. And we were just talking about, how our friends get offended or they may feel a certain way because we're not the type of people to just like call every day or text or hang out on a regular. Like, we're kind of like naturally um just standoffish in private, I guess. Like, I don't know, but like, one thing is for sure, like, if you call me or you need me, I'll be there. Like, and if you don't know that and you're my friend and you're listening, I'll be there. Like, just text me because most of the time I'm available. I'm just like not the type of person to want to invade someone's space. So therefore I stand off. And I know like that's not the best way to go about it, but I don't know. Like, I'm really trying to work on it. Like, I'm really trying to be more present, but I'm just a very like reserved type person. I feed off of energy. And I think because I'm at a different level of maturity in my life, um, that I like kind of guard myself from certain things. And so I just want you to know, like, if you need me, call me. But my sister and I, we went like really in depth on this conversation because it's like we don't even call each other every day. Like, we'll text. I try to check in with her twice a week. at least twice a week. Sometimes I do 3 times, or she'll check in with me at least once a week or twice a week. But it's like she knows if she needs me, she's gonna call me. Like, I don't know, we kind of get each other, right? Because we're both kind of the same when it comes to that. It's like we get each other. That's like our little brother. He doesn't really call, so if he calls, I answer because it's like we're all kind of the same and it's weird, but we really need to work on it. So I told my sister what I really want to do is just like at least do a check-in once a week with all of us, and then maybe find one activity a month to do because together as siblings, because time just goes by so quick. And then I mean, I saw my brother on one of my brothers on Christmas, and I hadn't saw him in forever, and it's like, I need to do better. I need to do better. Maybe check in with y'all at least once a month and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" to make sure you're good. Because I'm really, really bad at that, and so I think being that way may play a role, in trust and friendships. Like, but I also, on the flip side, believe because I'm a genuine person. Like, if you ask me to do something or you need me to do something and I can make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. You know, I try to just be there for people and just hear people out. And if I'm not, please call me on it and let me know. Like, hey, I wish you would do more. I mean, I'm not a mind reader. So if you feel like you need more from me as a friend, I feel like we should be in a space like now as adults where you should feel comfortable letting me know that you need more from me. And so before I get deeper into the topic, it's kind of like everyone in a friendship or a relationship have or has different needs, right? And so my need may be I need you to check on me. I need you to check on me. Another person's need may be I need you to be there when I call you. Like, I need you to just listen, you know, or I need you to spend time with me. Everybody's love language and what they need from a friendship or a relationship is different. And so I think the same way we learn our love language, the love language of our spouses or our significant others, we have to take the time to learn the love language of our friends and our friendships because everyone needs different things. And that's totally fine. But I think what we need to start normalizing is voicing what we need from friendships. I'm not the type of person that needs a lot of your time, but I may have a friend who needs my time. So I think we could become better friends and we could have better relationships if we really, really take the time to get to know one another and be more vocal about what we need from the other person. And so a good friend is someone who is there, and there's someone that you're lucky to have in your life, that you're fortunate to have. But let's get into today's quote. All right. Today's quote is there is nothing I would not do for those who are really my friends. Oh, sorry guys, I'm coughing. True friendship comes when the silence between two people is comfortable. Friendship is the hardest thing in the world to explain. And I definitely agree with this. Definitely agree with this. It's okay to be silent, like in friendships, but you should know when something is wrong. Like, you should know, like, if this person is the type of person that texts you every week, all day, every day, and they're not doing that, like, let me check on this person. Let me make sure they're good. It's hard to explain. Like, my friends, I don't talk to them every day, but I think we need to, and it's not that we need to talk every day, but I do think we need to do a better job at checking in, right? Not just when something is happening or, something good is happening in our lives, something bad is happening in our life. Like, it needs to be a more regular, consistent thing. But I think they genuinely kind of know, we all kind of operate the same. Um, but I think building trust and building that friendship takes time. Trust is being able to have trust and confidence in your friend. Those are the most important requirements from a friend. Like, I think my friends that I have shown me that I can trust them, that I can depend on them when something goes wrong because they're going to show up and they're going to be there. And I don't have a big army of friends, but the ones that I do have, if I ask them for something, or sometimes I don't even have to ask them, if they know something's going on, they're right there. It's not a question. And I think if I know something's going on, I would be the same way. Like, that's just what it is. But, that's what good friends do. Oh, God, I cannot stop coughing. Um, but yeah, part of caring for a friend is honoring what they tell you, no matter the significance, with confidentiality and respect. Now, I'm going to stay right here for a second because people have issues with this. Because I'm no longer your friend doesn't mean that I'm going to now release all of your secrets and everything that you've told me because I'm no longer your friend. That's trifling. Like, the stuff you told me was told in confidentiality when we were friends. And now that the friendship has ended, I do not have the right to go and tell your business to the world. If you are the type of person that does that, you are trifling. If you're no longer friends with that person, just walk away and just call it what it is. If you see them, say hi and move on. Like, we're too grown to be holding grudges. We are too grown to be holding grudges. It's just some people that can go with you into the next season of your life. And that's totally fine, but that doesn't mean you have to bash them. You have to bring them down. You have to talk about them. You have to post subliminals on social media. If you're no longer their friend, you're just no longer their friend, and just move on and call it what it is. And that's it. Even in a relationship, it's the same way. Like, it does not take all that. Like, it doesn't take all that, because if you're truly done and you're not operating out of hurt, then you don't even have the energy to do that. Like, you don't have time to really just spend on bashing the other person or putting their business out in the streets. Like, that's not even a thought in your mind, because it's like, I'm moving on from the situation. It is what it is, right? Confidentiality and respect means so much. There's things that I told, one of my cousins passed away. I guess this was 3 years ago. And like, growing up, we spent a lot of time together. And like, even, in my 20s and things like that, like, she was the person in the family that you could just go to and talk to, and you knew that your secrets or your business it wasn't gonna get to everybody, right? And like, my cousin passed away with some of my secrets. Like, that's how ride or die she was. And that's what I expect from my friends as well. Like, if I tell you something, I don't, if I wanted everybody to know, I would have told everyone, right? And so I think we have to learn what's okay and what's not okay. Because I've seen a lot of friendships end because someone said something to someone else in the friend circle that someone told them, and then they went back and told them. Like, it just creates chaos, and it creates, then the friend becomes untrustworthy to you. Like, you feel like you can't trust them because it's like, I asked you not to tell anyone. Like, as a friend, I should be able to confide in you. And that's part of caring and honoring the friendship. You believe you have to protect yourself in a friendship. Like, this is the people that think like, I'm one deep, I have no friends. Like, they believe literally that they have to protect themselves. Many of us are taught from early on experiences that we need to protect ourselves from others. And I think that comes from, people being hurt, people being talked about by family members, people being talked about by friends. So they've had bad experiences and friendships. And so they instill that in their children, they instill that in their family members. And it's kind of like, I don't have any friends. I see that a lot. I don't have any friends. I'm my own friend. You know, Beyonce came out with the song Me, Myself, and I. And so it sounds good. It's a vibe. I sing it too. But I think it just really motivates people to be alone. Like, we all need someone. And so this one deep stuff, it's like you feel like everybody's out to get you. You feel like you're out here solo. And that's not even the case, sis. There's a whole group of us, especially in the Grace Girls community. We're waiting for you. We want to embrace you. You don't have to be alone. Not everybody's out to get you. Not everybody wants to see you fail or not succeed. There's also been a case where it's like serious issues of abuse and neglect, and this person has clearly been harmed um intentionally by people, and so therefore they have a scar. So now they have developed this perspective that people want to hurt you. People want to hurt you. People will disappoint you. People will let you down. And while that may be true, it's not everyone. It's not everyone. Not everyone wants to hurt you. Not everyone wants to, you know, let you down or be mean or have ill intentions toward you. Um, and when we develop these types of theories, it stays with you until adulthood. So you take these theories about friendships and relationships into adulthood, and now everyone that comes around, you feel like they have an ill will toward you. Um, Real story, true story. I I was teaching. What was it? It's been about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I was the youngest teacher on the team. There was this lady on the team, and she's the team lead. Been teaching longer than I've been born. I mean, I had been born at the time, so I was like 20 in my 20s, and so she had been teaching probably longer than that. Um, was like so like, oh, you don't like me, or oh, you guys are like having lunch without me, all these things. And I just could not wrap my mind around. I was like, Lord, what the heck is wrong with this lady? Like, what have I done to her? Like, I don't know. But it wasn't me. So it was something that she had experienced previously in her life. So when I got to know her and started to hear more about her story, because I literally have to tell her, like, that's not my intention. If you want to have lunch with us, you can sit down and have lunch with us. It's not a big deal. We welcome you. Just come over. Like, we didn't plan to isolate you or keep you out. Like, just come in and sit down with your lunch and eat with us. It's fine. That's all we did. We just sat down. She's like, oh, okay. And then she starts to tell us her story, and I'm like, oh my God, this lady is hurt and broken. Crazy. Comes to find out, like, after hearing her story, it's like her mom hurt her. Her mom left her and walked away from her. Every friend that she had left and stabbed her in the back. Like, she had a traumatic story. She had a rocky relationship with her brothers. She was the only girl. She had all brothers. She had a rocky relationship. At the time, she was going through marital issues. Like, she was having all these issues, but the problem was never with us. Like, she took it out on us, but the problem was with what she had was with what she had experienced in her past. And that was just so mind boggling to me. And I think that's when I really grew a love for counseling and therapy and just trauma and learning more about how the human mind works. Because it was just mind boggling to see that, wow, we were paying for what these people did to her. And I think when it's ingrained in us so early that people are against us or no one wants to see us win, we don't see any other way. Like we don't think there's another way. We just think like, oh, this is just how the world works. Oh, this is just how they are. And that's not necessarily true, right? Cuz I mean, I wasn't thinking anything like that. But she already had it ingrained in her mind that everybody was bad and everybody didn't like her and that we were against her. And so this belief stays with people until adulthood. And it often gathers more evidence because they start to encounter other experiences that may be bad. So now it's like it grows and it festers and it's hard because they feel like no one can be trusted. Anybody they can encounter can't be trusted. And this lady, I feel like she had been teaching so long and she never acquired the goals and things she wanted to teach because most teachers they always have like a goal, like they don't want to stay in the classroom, like they want to move up to a leadership position or they want to, do something different after a certain period of time before they retire. But her hurt, and that's my number two, her hurt was holding her back. And so I want you to ask yourself this question, and you can write it down. Is your hurt holding you back? Is your hurt holding you back? Is it holding you back? Because it may be holding you back from a great friendship. It may be holding you back from a great relationship. It may be holding you back from repairing that family trauma, like repairing the family, right? Something happened, but you're so hurt that you can't address it. As we travel through this broken and beautiful world, we will be hurt. That's just the reality of it. Let's face it. We will be hurt. No question about it. We've all been hurt. And nobody's to say we will be hurt again. We don't know that. It's a simple fact of living in a land of imperfect people and systems. We often have many reasons not to trust based on our own experiences and relationships. And that's all it is, guys. All of this is based off of experiences. So I told that story earlier to just show you that her belief about me and my other teammate was based off of her experience. It was based off of what she had been through. And so, what I love most about people is getting to know their story, getting to know more about them. Like, it's intriguing to me because it allows me to see why they are the way they are, why they think the way they think, why they move the way they move. It makes a lot of sense to me. It does. It just makes everything start to come together. If we don't work through our hurts, we let each other become a barricade to our hearts. We don't let people into our hearts because we're hurt. So there's a lot of my good sisters out here, good sisters out here that are having trouble finding relationships or having trouble staying in relationships because the hurt is in the way. Like because of what John and Paul did to you, Billy's trying to come in and do all these great things and you won't let him because you're hurt. Like we have to stop operating out of hurt. And we as Black women have a issue with that. We move like we'll say we're over something, but we still talk about it every day. We still think about the shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know, we still talking about like, oh, I wish I could go back in time. We have to move forward. We have to move forward, and we have to move past the hurt and deal with our trauma. Until we deal with our trauma, like it's very, very hard to work through the hurt and to enter new friendships and relationships. It makes it hard to trust in friendships and relationships when we haven't healed from the hurt. I'm telling you, your experiences will tell you a lot about why you operate the way you do, why you tolerate the things you tolerate. Like, if you don't have many friends, think about your experiences. Like, what has caused you to be the way that you are? What in your life has happened and caused you to be the way that you are? Like, why are you still operating out of hurt? Your hurt is holding you back. We got to address the hurt. It's holding you back from being the best version of yourself. It's holding you back from meeting people that are actually genuine, loving people. It's holding you back from being a part of my Grace Girls community because you probably think, oh, these women think they're all dead, or oh, these women. You have people who think this way. I'm just throwing it out there. Oh, they don't really care. Oh, they won't understand what I've been through. Oh, they can't relate. Like, you make every excuse on why you don't have people around you that love you and that really want the best for you. You are holding you back. Your hurt is holding you back. You are holding you back because you want to address the hurt. You want to address it. That's really what it is. Like, we have to call it like we see it. Like, I have a family member who I was extremely close to, and now we don't talk as much. And it's not because, I have anything against this person. It's just that, I mean, I need you to address the hurt. I need you to address it because it's spewing out and it's going everywhere, and everybody sees it, and it's just like, when are you going to address it? Because you're blocking everybody out for what? We're not out to get you. We want to see you win, but you have to know that for yourself. I can't force you to know that. And so the hurt in friendships literally hold people back. Now I want to go to another, it's in the same area, but I want to kind of switch a little bit. So trust in friendships is sometimes hard for people. Also, too, because some people don't know how to be a friend. They don't know how to be a friend. They don't. They saw their mom be a terrible friend. They saw people around them be terrible to each other. And so they just don't know anything else. That's all they know. It's a learned behavior. And so it's hard when they encounter somebody good and they hurt them, right? And I hate that for them because I saw a situation to where these two chicks were best friends. Like, when you saw one, you saw the other one. One got engaged. And the next time I looked, I'm like, oh, sis is engaged to, wait, hold on. So her best friend got engaged to the guy she was engaged to. I mean, she was helping this girl plan her wedding. Like, I mean, it was just crazy to me. I was just like, they were hanging out as like double dates and stuff like that. Then you end up with her man. But let me tell you something, how God works and how karma works. She ended up with her man, right? Took her through all this craziness. Ended up with her man, and then he took her through some craziness. So it's like, why do y'all do things like that? Like, it's hard. It would be hard for me to trust you as a friend, even if I wasn't the friend that got hurt. Now I wouldn't even trust you around my man. Like, what? Who does that? I would never do that. That's insane. So we do things like that, and it's like we try to justify our actions. No, I mean, she was getting upset when people were calling her on it. Oh, y'all don't know, y'all don't. No, 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 no. What I do know is you was just with that girl looking for a dress, and now you with her man. That's all I know. That's all I need to know, right? So those are the types of things, and then also too, it's like when the seasons of our lives change, we don't know how to still continue to be friends, and I think I struggle with this as well. Like we don't know, like when we're in different phases of our lives. So, for example, when you go from single to being married, or you go from single to being in a relationship, like how do you still maintain being a good friend? Because when you were single, you may have been, when they call you, you over here, when they call you, you over there, but now you're in a relationship. It's like, it's not that you can't go, but it's like, oh, there's just certain things and boundaries that you have for your relationship that I don't want to do that anymore, right? Or out of respect, I don't do that. So I think friends have to be understanding of that, but I think also too you have to know like kind of like where you fit in, and that may take some time. Because I know for me, it took time. It took time for me to really just figure out, okay, how can I still maintain my friendships, but also be in my marriage or my relationship? Because people struggle with that. Yeah, they do, and they cut everybody off, and it's kind of like, dang, I was your friend before he got here. So you want to keep your friends around, and not and don't feel like people are. I knew a person who felt like everybody was jealous of her, and it's like, girl, nobody's jealous of you. We're just trying to be your friend. Like, I don't, I'm not jealous of you. I'm just saying, like, can you make a little time for your friends? But because they're like, oh, well, all you spend is time with your man. You don't have time for us anymore. She was under the impression that they were jealous of her. And that wasn't the case. It was just like, sometimes you can miss a person as a friend. Is that okay? Like, that should be normal for you to miss them as a friend. You shouldn't cut them off because you feel like, because they spoke up and they were vocal about their needs. Now you're upset. Like, don't get upset when your friends are vocal about what they need from you. I think as a friend, you should have that right to say, this is what I need from you, because a friendship breakup is the worst. It's the worst, especially when someone just stops talking to you and you don't even know like what you did wrong. That happened to me, and I'm like, I thought we were cool. We were talking every day, we were getting to know each other. We have been friends like, I guess maybe 2 years almost. But you just stopped talking to me because I don't know why. I still don't know why to this day, but it's just like mind boggling for me that people can be that way. Um, and then the other person's stuck trying to heal from that, and then it makes it hard for them to let other people in, because again, all of this is based off of experiences. I mean, we're all imperfect people, and we're all readjusting, and we're all learning along the way. And so I truly believe in second chances. That's why when I see people repair relationships and become friends again, I applaud them for that. I applaud them for that because that takes a lot. It takes a lot of faith in the other person. It takes a lot of, tenacity to do that. Um, yeah. I mean, it takes a lot to repair after you've been hurt, especially in friendships, because you have to build that trust again. I think that's why the trust is so hard to get back once it's broken. It's definitely hard to get back because people, you know, are always on the edge. They're always on the edge because, like, do I trust you? Do I not? Now, all the taking back 3, 4, 5 times, like, that's a lot for me. I'm like, okay, second, but that third, I ain't gonna be able to do. And that's just me. To each his own. But I'm all about people art can change, but I'm also all about like once you show me who you are, I'm gonna believe you until you prove me wrong. But I'm not gonna give you 3, 4, 5 times to prove me wrong because I'm not blind and I'm not senile and I see. That's it. Like I can see what's happening here, and it's okay. And the last point I want to make is that everybody is just not meant to be your friend. Like, there's just some people that you don't vibe with. Like, and that's okay. Be okay with that. Don't force, we're not forcing relationships in 2023. We're not forcing friendships in 2023. It is what it is. Like, you're just not my cup of tea, and I'm not your cup of tea. And that's okay. I can still say hi, be cordial, but I don't have to necessarily call you my friend because I don't take that word lightly. I don't take it lightly. I mean, I will eat by myself before I call a random person my friend. That's just how I feel. Like a random person, like a random means that we have nothing in common. I can't relate. Like, that's what that means. So, yeah, I mean, I just can't do it, y'all. But if you have friends and you love your friends, truly cherish them because they're very hard to find. Like, good friends are hard to find because of this reason, because so many people have experienced so many traumatic things and they walk around with this hurt, and it's hard for them to get rid of it. It's hard for them to let go and let new people in and start over. And it's hard for them to discern positive energy. And that in turn makes it hard for them to make friends. You know, it does, and keep them. And so I want to close with this. Keep taking time for yourself until you're you again. Declutter your mind of things that take you out of your element. Always stay true to who you are. Keep taking time for yourself until you're you again. Declutter your mind of things that take you out of your element and always stay true to who you are. So, if you hold yourself to a certain standard for being a good friend, keep doing that. If you consider yourself trustworthy, keep doing that. Keep being trustworthy. Keep being who you are. Keep operating in genuine feminine energy. And just continue to strive for greatness, guys. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Well, guys, that concludes our episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. For additional information about today's episode, please click the link in the show notes below. To learn more about our Grace Girls community and other resources we have to offer, head over to www.allowyourselfgrace.com. Until next time, Grace Girls, I love you all. Be blessed and continue to strive for success.